Bonjour! A few weeks ago I was telling you that my pro makeup kit needed a big revamp before the beginning of the busy season. I went over my entire makeup kit and got rid of all the products that were expired, and I also made a shopping list of all the products I wanted to get. If you haven't watched my previous video where I'm building that shopping list, I would maybe recommend you to pause this video and go and watch it first, just so you have a little bit of context. I will put the link in the description box for you. There is some hair products, some makeup, drugstore products as well. I have a new set bag, some special effect products. There's a whole bunch of things, so let's jump right into it. Let's start with everything that's hair because there's not a lot of things. I mostly had to get some new brushes because I was missing a few. So the first one I got is one of these big Boar bristle brushes that you want to use when you want the hair to be really shiny and really smooth. Basically what Boar bristle does is that it spreads the natural oils that you have on your scalp and at the root of your hair all the way to the end. That's why your hair looks so shiny after using one of these brushes. By the way, if you're new here, I primarily do makeup. I'm initially a makeup artist, but sometimes I have to do hairstyling as well. I have very basic notions of hairstyling. I'm not a pro at all, so I only need the basic tools. And you can go check my Instagram if you want to see the type of work that I do. I got one of these tiny round brushes that I want to use on clients that have bangs. I have one of these for myself and I've been using it a lot lately, so I just wanted to add one to my kit. I also got one of these detangling brushes because recently I had a job where it was mostly kids in front of the camera, and I spent a lot of time detangling their hair, so I thought that that would be a great investment and something great to have in my kit. I also got a styling cream. I've actually never used one, but I see that everyone loves using that type of product just to smooth the hair and to avoid having too much flyaway, and apparently it makes hairstyling a lot easier and the result a lot cleaner. So I'll give it a try. I'm going to show you my new set bag so I can move it out of the way. So I got this one from Z Palette. They only have one set bag. I have a couple makeup artist friends that already have it and they love it. They highly recommended it to me. It's really great because it has so many pockets, which is really allowing you to carry a lot of things but also to stay very organized. I've only used it one time on set so far, so I can't give you a full review yet, but all good so far. There is two pockets on the top. There is some on this side as well. I don't know if you can see really well. There is a big pocket here for tissues, more pocket on the side, and another one at the back. There's a clear pocket here where I put all of my brushes, and inside there is 4 compartments where you can put all of your powders, your hairspray, or whatever you need with you on set. So I'll keep using it for a few more weeks and I'll do a full review for you and I'll show you everything that I carry in it. I also had to get a bunch of special effect products because, as I mentioned to you in one of my previous videos, I recently got accepted into the film union, and when you do that they send you a list of all the products you should have in your kit, and there is a big section that's for special effects products. First they asked me to get one of these alcohol activated paint palette. So it's fully dry, and to activate the colors you have to spray some 70% or 99% alcohol. You would use them pretty much the same way as you would use watercolor paint, but because it's alcohol based, they are really long lasting, waterproof. They are actually really hard to take off. So if you're doing something like a tattoo cover, for example, for a film or even for a wedding, and you want it to last through sweat, through humidity, through whatever weather, you can use alcohol paint and you can be sure that it's going to last until you decide to take it off. This one is just a really basic one. I just wanted to make sure to get one that has all the primary color as well as black and white. So if I have that, I can basically create any color that I want. You can use it for so many different things, and if you enjoy doing special effects, that's 100% a staple, one of the first things that you should be getting. I also got a few different types of sponges that you would usually use to give your makeup some sort of texture. I also got a couple dirt powders. You know, when there's a character that's covered in charcoal or in dirt, for example, you obviously don't use actual dirt, but you would use one of these powders. I also had to get some collodion, so that's something that you would use to create an old scar. You would apply a thin layer and fold the skin, and it gives the illusion of an old scar. It smells very, very strong. Generally, all special effect products are very, very chemical and very strong. If you have a sensitive skin, just forget about it. I also had to get this hair color. I got them in gray and in white. That's something that you use when you want your character or your actor to have some white hair, gray hair in the beard, in the hair, to make them look older. It's alcohol based, so it's very long lasting as well. Some sweat, because sometimes for the story of your character, they need to be sweaty, so you would use one of these mixed with water, and then you can just spray it on the person. It's so funny how special effects is the opposite of beauty makeup. It's literally two different worlds. And lastly, I had to get some liquid latex and some Prozaid, which is an adhesive for the skin that you would use to glue pretty much anything to the skin. And finally, the best part is makeup. So why don't we start with everything that's coming from the drugstore? First of all, I had to get some liquid lipsticks for when I work on weddings. Everyone recommended me to get the Super Stay Matte Ink from Maybelline. I know that they are so popular everywhere, but also in the bridal industry. So I started by getting these two shades just to try them out. I got the number 60 called Poet and the number 65 called Seductress. They are classic liquid lipsticks with a matte finish, and I also wanted to get a couple options that have more of a shiny finish. So I got two shades of the Super Stay Vinyl Ink from Maybelline as well. Shade 35 Cheeky and 95 Captivated. Both are really great as long as you apply them on bare lips and you give them some time to fully dry. They are also very affordable, and I think for this type of products it's completely fine to get them from the drugstore. I'm not going to depot any of these products, even though the packaging is quite bulky, which I don't really like, but apparently if you depot this type of products, they dry right away and then you can't use them anymore. So it's really recommended to keep them in the original packaging. I restocked on one of my favorite mascara, is the Essence Lash Princess in the waterproof version. Very important to get a waterproof mascara if you're working on weddings for obvious reasons. I keep buying this one over and over again. I think for the price it's really great. So I'll put all the link in the description box as always. Some of these links are affiliate. If you were planning on buying something from Amazon, you can just click on one of my links, do your usual shopping. It doesn't even have to be something that I'm recommending, and instead of all that money going to Amazon, there's a few cents of what you're purchasing that's gonna come in my pocket, because you know, a few cents here and there is always helpful, and it's helping me to improve my content on this channel. So I just wanted to explain to you a little more how it works, because you might not know. So thank you very much if you're deciding to helping me out with that, and if not, that's okay, no problem. Just thank you for being on this channel. And if that's not too much to ask, you can also like and comment this video to help me with the YouTube algorithm. Now that's it. Thank you. I also wanted to give a try to the Halo Glow Liquid Filter from e.l.f. Woohoo! Almost dropped them. It's the very viral dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Glow Filter. Apparently they are very, very similar. I've never used the Charlotte Tilbury one, so I couldn't confirm that, but I've tried these ones a couple of times and they look really great. It gives the most beautiful glow to the skin. I started by getting shade number 1, 4 and 5. They are pretty sheer anyway, so even if it's not your exact shade, I think they would work. And I also have some products in my kit that I can mix them with, just in case I want to have a closer match to my client's skin tone. I'm definitely going to depot them as soon as I'm done with this video, because they are really, really heavy and that's a lot of products. I obviously don't need to have all of that in my kit. I also got a blush from Essence. It's $3.99. It has a satin finish, so it has a very natural glow, and I didn't have any blush that has this sort of mauvey kind of shade. That's something that I will depot and add to my magnetic blush palette as soon as possible as well. I got a pack of individual lashes from Ardell that I used on a client for a wedding trial. I hated them. I usually don't work with individual lashes, but I wanted to give it a try with this client. It took me so long to figure out how to put them on properly, and I really didn't like the result. So it's probably because I would need to practice a little more on how to apply them nicely, but also it's just, according to me, so much easier to just apply a natural regular lash band. And another reason why I really didn't like these ones is because when I was trying to get them out of the box with my tweezers, they would just break. Like, the tape that they put to hold the lashes is so strong, and obviously the lashes are very delicate, that they just fall apart. So I don't really get it. I will only use them again if it's really necessary, but I would not really recommend these ones. Because these didn't work for me, I next want to give a try to cluster lashes. So it's basically, I would say, 3 to 4 individual lashes put all together in one cluster. So in my head, it's going to be a lot easier to use. I haven't tried them yet, but I got these ones from AliExpress. I get most of my lashes from AliExpress. Once you find a few references of lashes that you like, it ends up being the most affordable option for us makeup artists, because lashes can be very expensive and we obviously have to make a profit on the makeup that we're doing, right? So we always have to be mindful about the cost of the supplies that we're using. And I find that on AliExpress, you can find some beautiful lashes that are really well made for $1, $2, $3. So it's really a great deal. And now that I'm doing that, sometimes I see lashes in store, lashes from brands like Kiss, Ardell, and I think they don't look good at all. Like, the ones I get from AliExpress, they honestly look so much better. I ordered a bunch, but not all of them have arrived yet. And I also got one from Amazon that was recommended by one of you. Thank you very much. They look really nice. They are a little bit longer than what I usually like, but because they're so light, I don't think it's going to look too heavy on the eye. And I got 7 pairs for, I believe, $10. So once again, great deal. And because I want to be a little bit more organized in the way that I'm keeping my lashes in my kit, I got one of these view set palettes. This reference is called Taxi, and I'm hoping to keep all of my lashes organized by style in here. And the last thing I got from AliExpress is this little silicone mascara guards. It's soft pieces of silicone that you would put here on your client's eyelid for when you want to apply the mascara, just so you don't ruin all your eyeshadow. You can totally use it for yourself as well. You can use it on the upper lid, on the lower lid, and I got it for when I have a client that has very short lashes and I really want to get in there. I think that's going to be super helpful. And the last thing that I got, and that was probably one of the most expensive part of this whole shopping spree, is a full restock on my favorite foundation that you've heard me talking about so many times. Is the Ultra Foundation Pro from Face Atelier. That's the foundation I use on most of my jobs. I love it. I keep buying it over and over again every single year. This year I decided to go for 8 different shades. I'll put all the references in the description box, but basically I made sure to go from the lightest to the darkest shades and some different shades in between, and I made sure that I had both some with cool tones and some with warm undertones. And they also have something really great for makeup artists, which is color adjusters. So for example, they have a bright pink one, a bright blue one, a green one, so you can really customize the shade to match your client as best as possible. In the past, I bought the full size of the color adjusters, but because you only have to use the tiniest amount, I was wasting a lot of products. So this year, I decided to get some samples instead. Basically, they sell some of these little pots that they call samples, and they are selling them for $1 Canadian. And it's actually a pretty good amount of product. They are pretty generous with that. So for example, I got 2 samples of the pink adjusters, and you can see how bright it is. You can only imagine that I really don't need a lot. I got one of the blue adjusters, a couple of the heat that is like a kind of burnt orange that's really great to adjust foundations for dark skin tones. For dark skin tones, I also got a couple of these 0++ adjuster. That's a very, very deep brown, so you can do makeup on the deepest skin tone with that. And for medium skin tones, they also have this yellow shade. I also got a white shade to be able to work on the fairest skin tones. And they also have a new shade of adjuster that's for olive skin. So it's a dark green because it's quite hard still now to find good shades for olive skin tones. And for us makeup artists, instead of having to have foundations that are specifically made for olive undertones, we can just use one of these adjusters. So it's a little bit of color theory. If you're new to makeup artistry, color theory is something that you should really, really look up and get familiar with, because you're gonna use it all the time. And by now, I guess you know me, you know that these foundations are obviously not going to stay in their original packaging. I'm planning on depotting them, and to do that, I got these depotting bottles on Amazon just because I'm starting to do more makeup applications per job, so I need containers that are a little bit bigger. I got this one from Amazon. They are apparently a dupe for the ones I wanted to get initially from Kit Pack. They seem to be very, very similar, but they were half the price. That's it for this big restocking. I think I have pretty much everything that I need now to work through the entire summer. And now that I've shown you everything, I can finally start depotting them. You know that it's been itching me from the moment I received these products. I'll film everything for you because it seems like you're really enjoying watching my depotting videos. I'm here to chat with you in the comments if you have any question, or you can just leave a little heart emoji just to say hi. Thank you so much for spending this little moment with me. Take good care of yourself, and I will see you soon. Bisous!